phrase here that Steve Nicol hates, which is 2-0 is always a deceptive lead. Stevie hates it, and I understand that. But this sums it up. Because the game's done. The game should be done. But one mistake, Arsenal, I don't think, I think they were just seeing the last 13 minutes out themselves. They weren't doing an awful lot. But then all of a sudden, this happens. They're in the game. And I draw, I guess, was fair for both, but it quite easily could have gone either way late on for either team. So for me, to Pochettino's statement, I don't see what's the big value here. In a Chelsea team that have struggled, that are playing a whole lot better, come up against one of the best teams in the league, what's the upside to playing the ball out to the back here? I don't understand it. Just kick it, see the game out, and we figure out next week's opponent.
Shaka says that Mauricio Pochettino, what was the word you used?
Contradicted
himself. Jules, what do you make of that? Fair?
I think it's always a tricky one for managers because, of course, Sanchez made a mistake. We all saw it. Pochettino saw it. He knows it. You can't really go in after the game and say, yeah, you know, if Robert hasn't made that mistake, we would have won the game, which is probably true. Like Shaka said, if you don't consider that moment, even if Arsenal were better, and clearly you could see that Chelsea were dropping off physically a little bit. They didn't have the same intensity, which is normal because they played with so much energy and intensity for the first 70 minutes of the game that after that it looked like they were deeping a bit. But if they don't consider that goal, then I'm really not sure they draw the game. So, but for Pochettino, it's really hard to come out and say, yeah, Sanchez cost us the game. He cost us 3 or 2 points here, and all of that. So you have to be a bit diplomatic. You have to be a bit. And I don't think he really knows what to say, to be honest. When I listened to it, and even yesterday, I thought that he was like contradicting himself. He was not really sure how to get there, what to do, what to say, how to go. And really, I think it's a tricky one because we all know what he thinks. Of course, he thinks that Sanchez made a big mistake that really we should not see at that kind of level. Even if, again, the idea is to play out from the back, to play that ball to Enzo very centrally, it's still for that level a terrible pass. But again, I think Pochettino surely can't really say what he thinks.
Nedum, how much of this is on Pochettino and what he's asking of his goalie?
I don't think that much, to be honest, because I think ultimately a manager might tell a team to go out and play in a certain fashion, but they're not on the field with you to be able to make those decisions. And I think, obviously, he's saying that Sanchez could have managed the game differently, managed it in that moment. When you're 2-0 up, it's however many minutes left in the game. But there's always more to it. It's a team sport that we play. And for me, if they're going to go longer, then Enzo don't show for the ball, Gallagher don't be in the same line, and that makes decisions for certain players. I think sometimes you might think, yeah, I want to play, but if you've got no one to play it to, then do you know what you do? You don't play.